Hi, hello again. Good afternoon. Good lunchtime, I should say, because today our FB Live is actually at 12 o'clock. So hopefully all of you who are having your break while you work from home or at the office, you are with us today because we've got a very important issue to address. Okay, so our health topic is about you know how during MCO especially, a lot of people are just in their homes and they're looking at screens all the time practically. We're looking at our TV screens, at our computer screens, tablets, and of course, the one that is most used, our phone screens, okay? So today we will have with us Dr. Sunita Padmanabhan, and before I introduce her, let's just take a look at what exactly is this topic about today.
Hi everyone. We all look at digital screens every day, such as mobile phones, TVs and laptops. But do you know long-term exposure can affect vision? I'm going to cover computer vision syndrome. Sounds scary, but actually it's very simple. I'm Dr. Sunita Padmanabhan, Consultant Ophthalmologist from Columbia Asia Puchong. Join me on Doctors Go Live on Wednesday the 25th of August at 12 noon. I will share with you tips and advice on how to minimize the effects of digital screen exposure to your eyes. See you soon.
So there you go. Hi, Dr. Sunita.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, before we proceed with the talk, let me just address the audience by telling them all, yes, it's you, ladies and gentlemen, that today we've got a new segment on Doctors Go Live. It is a quiz. And why should you join the quiz? Of course, other than remembering what it is that we are going to be talking about today, it's also because you will be standing a chance to win a carry-all bag, compliments of Columbia Asia Hospital Puchong. That is where Dr. Sunita practices. So what you need to do is just to share this FB Live link at least 3 times with your friends or with your health and wellness groups on Facebook, because only those who share can enter the quiz. Okay, so let's proceed. And yes, today's topic, computer vision syndrome by Dr. Sunita Padmanabhan from Columbia Asia Hospital Puchong. She is the consultant ophthalmologist. Okay, doctor, now we can start the topic.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Sakina.
No problem at all. How long have you been with Columbia Asia?
6 years now.
6 years already. My goodness.
Puchong,
And how long have
yes.
you been
I was practicing in PJ and then now in Puchong.
Oh, I see. You're from Columbia Asia Hospital PJ first.
PJ, yes. I was in PJ first.
So much love for
And then
Columbia Asia. Okay, doctor.
They've been good to me.
Yes, that's very good. And how long have you been an ophthalmologist?
I've been an ophthalmologist now for, let's see, 2011, 10 years, 11 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking to someone with a vast experience in this area. And what made you choose ophthalmology as your area of interest?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
How did that happen?
Let's see. I always wanted to do something with surgery. I wanted to use my hands for something. But I always started off by wanting to do surgery, general surgery.
Right.
When I was studying, my father became a patient who had very bad glaucoma. So I don't know, along the way, watching him go through it and, having vision on one eye, this and that, kind of, the interest in me grew. I wanted to know more about it. And when I finally went into the department, I actually loved it. So,
that's good.
Yeah. It's actually my dad started me off on it.
Oh, I see. So it started off with your dad. And where are you from originally?
I'm from Kuantan, Pahang.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So no wonder you speak Malay very well as well.
Oh, do I? Well, thank you.
Yeah. You campur lah, which is something that we
Yes.
can do. So it's pretty casual sharing session. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we can start off now. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that you can also ask questions, which we will be addressing later by the doctor. And then you can also send us emoticons, show us some love, show doctor some love. And of course, you can always relate your experiences as well. And
Yes,
don't
please
forget
show me
the
love.
quiz. Yes, show doctor some love. Or spectacles, if you've got any of those. And yeah, don't forget the most important thing is the quiz because it's a new feature. So let's try that out. You have to answer 3 questions, and when you get the answers, you just have to send it in one comment. I will be talking about this much later also. Okay. So without wasting any more time, let's just take a look at today's topic. Computer vision syndrome. What is it exactly, doctor? What is computer vision syndrome?
Okay. Can I
Finally.
start?
Yes,
Yes.
finally can
Can I
start.
start? Okay. Right. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is staying safe during these times. I hope everybody is fine. I really want to cover this topic today because of what we are going through at this point of time. Everybody is, at home, on lockdowns, multiple times. I think our kids haven't seen school in, I don't know, nearly a year, I think. So if you have kids like mine who are on the computer from morning till evening, and then finish class, and then I'm trying to tear them away from their computers, and they still want to continue because they got to play games and this and that. But that's the world we live in right now. And how do we protect them and ourselves at the same time when it comes to using our gadgets that we are so I wouldn't say addicted, but at least we are so reliant on at this point in time. Okay, so today's topic is going to be computer vision syndrome. Now, when I say computer vision syndrome, it sounds like a whole, scary topic where, it involves a lot of problems and stuff. But actually, it's such a simple thing that the little things that we can do just to change the way that we work and the way we do things on our gadgets can prevent us from having computer vision syndrome. So let me just jump into it. What exactly is computer vision syndrome? Now, it is actually a general term. It describes a variety of vision-related symptoms. That means you can have dry eyes, blah, blah, blah. I'll cover all of that later on. And this is aggravated by the amount of computer and not just computers, any gadgets that we use for more than 2 hours a day, which I think is, we cover it in the first 2 hours in the morning, if you ask me. The first thing we do, everybody, and I know it's bad, but we get up in the morning, the first thing we do is we pick up our phones, right?
Correct. Yeah. First thing you do, last thing you do. So
Exactly. First thing you do and the last thing you do. Exactly. So now, the most important thing what happens is when you are focused on your computer or any gadget for that matter, the first thing that happens is it reduces your blink reflex. Now, blinking is extremely important. Can you go to the next slide, please? Next slide. Yeah, great. Okay. So what does it mean by a blink reflex? Now, the blink reflex is actually really important because nobody ever thinks about whether you're blinking or not. But just the act of blinking does so much of work for your eye. Now, we usually blink at about 16 to 20 times per minute. That's your normal blink rate. Now, if you are focused on something, that means your computer, your phone, any gadget, even in fact your book, if you're really, studying or something, you do reduce your amount of blinking. Now, from the 20 times, you can reduce that amount of blinking by 50%. That means it can go down to about 6 to 10 times per minute. Now, that is really bad because let me tell you exactly what blinking does. Nobody ever thinks about blinking, but let me just explain it to you. The next slide, please. Okay, so what do you do when you blink? Now, just the act of the eyelid coming down and covering your eye and opening back up, what it does is it does 2 things. One, it removes whatever debris or dirt that has collected from the atmosphere onto your tears. It gets caught in your eye because that's what is protecting your eye right now. The first thing before your eye, in front of it, is your tear film. Now, when you get a tear film that's in front of it, what happens is all the dust and debris get caught in that. So it doesn't touch your eye, it actually gets caught in your tears.
Now, when you blink, what happens is the blink reflex, it comes down, it washes away all that debris, and when it goes back up, it puts a new fresh film of tears in front of your eye. Now, if you do not have this, what would happen? You get a very dry and irritated eye if it doesn't work properly. That's why blinking is so important to our eyes. It's not something we ever think about. I don't think anybody's ever looked in the mirror and see how many times I blink, but it is so important for your eye that you need to blink. Okay?
Yeah. Because we do it automatically without even thinking.
Automatically, yeah.
Taken for granted.
Nobody ever thinks about blinking, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you learn something. Blinking is really important. So the next time you look in the mirror and blink, think about all the things that little blink reflex does for your eye.
You know,
Okay.
there's a game that children sometimes play whereby they just race and see who blinks first.
Who blinks
Is that
first?
dangerous?
Exactly.
Your eyes get all watery and dry. That's dangerous.
Agreed. Yes. No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. Okay.
It's nothing. It's a nice
Short moment for fun. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
short moment.
Carry on.
Okay, so let's jump into the gadgets that we are using. Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit more about our computer because that's what is actually very important. We are facing our computers and our laptops a lot throughout the day. So there is an optimal distance that our eye is relatively at rest. Okay, so we want our eye relatively at rest. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's just say if you go to a gym for the first time, okay? I never go to the gym. So if you go to the gym, let's say you're going for the first time after a long time, you go and you get all excited, you pick up a little dumbbell and you try and work out your muscle, let's say your bicep for that day, okay? And then once you've worked out your bicep, you go home. The next day, what happens to your bicep? You can't relax it anymore because it's overworked, correct? Because your muscles are all contracted. Now, that's what happens in the eye. Your eye, like a camera, it needs a certain amount of muscle to focus on your images that you're looking at. Now, if you have your eye working out so long, what happens is the muscles cannot relax, and therefore you get a blur vision because it cannot do the focusing mechanism anymore. It doesn't function as well. And so I don't know whether I'm making it clear. Yeah. Okay. So there is an optimal distance where you sit in front of your screen that allows your eye to be at relatively, I mean, not 100%, but at least relatively at rest. And now this picture, trust me, even I looked at it for a while and I had some time to figure it out. Okay, basically 1920 pixel, I've learned is actually our HD TV. Our screen is the high definition is 120 pixels, basically. Okay, so for us to sit in front of in front of the screen, if you're sitting too close, what happens is your eye has got a field of vision. That means, what is a field of vision? It means that if you put your hand at the side, although you're looking forward, you can still see your hand. That's your field of vision.
Check that out. Okay.
Yeah, can you see your hand? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. So basically, this is right, exactly. So you're still looking forward, although you can still see your hand. So that is your field of vision. Now, if this field of vision, if you're going to use the entirety of it, is great. But if, let's just say, you sit too close to a screen, what happens is you're forcing yourself to have that wide a screen. That means you want to look at all the pixels on the entire screen. Now, if you can keep doing that, of course, because your eye has the ability to try and focus and help you. But over time, that muscle that's trying to, for you to use that part of the screen, after some time, it'll become tired. So what will happen is you'll get a clear vision in the center, but towards the end, it'll all become blurry. So for you to elevate from doing that, what you do is you sit back. You get a 40 degrees away from the computer. So what happens is, although now you can see the entire screen, and at the same time, the muscles in your eye are still relaxed for you to look at the entire screen instead of coming near and forcing your eye to use that entire field of vision, which is straining on your eye. Okay, so that's basically this what it means. Okay, so basically take away from this slide, sit back, look at your screen, relaxed, so that you don't force yourself when you're looking forward at the screen. Okay, so sit back and relax so that you
Now you
still see the entire screen, but at the same time your eye is at its best.
okay. So now I'm going to move my laptop screen
Screen,
further from
yes,
me.
okay.
I'm conscious already. Because we're so used to
Everybody,
sometimes, a standard
exactly.
distance.
Agreed, agreed. We tend to try and because we are focusing on it, right? So we want to move in, but the actual in actuality, you should sit back and look at your
Okay.
screen. So that your eyes relaxed. You can still
At
see
least,
everything,
at least
but
an arm's length, would you say?
yes, arm's length. Arm's length is perfect.
All right.
Okay, next slide. Okay, now the strain that you have on your, I already mentioned it just now. The more you strain your eye takes more effort to stay in focus. So that's what you don't want. You don't want your eye to work too much to keep in focus. Your eye will do the job, of course, but there is only so much the eye can do. After some time, it will definitely get tired. So that's why you'll get strains, you get that burning sensation, and then the eye becomes tired by the end of the day. You see, if you keep too close to your computer and your screen, right? After about by lunchtime, you feel like you really like out. You've done for the day. You can't keep going. The thing is, you have to work, so you have to keep going. Sadly, okay. All right. So
And I,
the
I
next
feel like my eyeballs be stuck on the screen and just have to look away for.
exactly. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Simple things to change the way you work.
Yeah, this is
Next
the
slide.
era we're living in now, lah. And especially now with MCO
Agreed.
and with COVID as it is, a
Yeah.
lot of things are online.
Agreed. We
Almost
can't
everything.
change the world right now, but at least we
All
can
right.
change
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yes.
Next. Okay, so what exactly causes computer vision syndrome or CVS? Now, this slide, I think is perfect because even I do it all the time. Poor seating position and posture in front of the computer is one of those things, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to lie back. Now, all that, is, I don't have to tell you, I'm not an orthopedician. I can tell you if your spine is straight and you're
Yeah.
looking at your computer, that's the best position, especially for your spine. I don't have to tell you that. I think everybody knows if you sit straight in front of your computer at a 90-degree, you will always have your spine also at a relaxed position. Now, more importantly, is your screen. Now, you want your screen to be at least just below eye level. Now, the reason for that is because we have a tendency to be very comfortable when we are looking down. We are never comfortable looking up. Okay, if you realize throughout the day, we spend a lot of time looking down because this is our primary position. When we are looking straight, it's our primary position.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we are most comfortable just looking a little below. So that's about 30 degrees below the eye level. So your screen should always be about 30 degrees below eye level.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that's
that's the ideal. That's the
ideal
ideal.
position to be.
Okay.
Exactly. That's where you're most comfortable. So any screen that you're going to put, make sure you're sitting straight, your eye, just look a little bit lower, 30 degrees, and you're good to go. Of course, like you said, make sure your screen is at about one arm's length, which is about 20 to 30 inches, which is about 50 centimeters away, which is about an arm's length.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's
Doctor,
the first
sometimes
right?
I know that you mentioned that you need to look down a little bit because that's the
Yes.
ideal position
Agreed.
for viewing. But sometimes I think some of us we feel a little sleepy. Like actually, talking about myself, if I look
Sorry,
down,
again.
I get a
Sorry, I
little
didn't hear you.
sleepy. Sometimes if you're working too much on your computer, then sometimes you tend to
Yes.
get a little, you don't want to doze off. So what I do is
Right.
I look up a little bit. That means I either lift my
Yes.
computer a bit higher, or even when I'm reading a book, if I'm looking down, I get sleepy, so I
Look
make it.
up. But
Yeah,
actually,
it's
if
quite
you do,
strenuous on the eyes whenever
it is,
it's higher.
but you're doing it for a short period of time. You're just
Yeah,
changing position. That's different because that is comes into like an exercising yourself. You're waking yourself up. That's
correct.
different.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
But
fine.
maintaining a position that means that's most ideal for long. Yes, that's fine.
All right. Nice. Okay.
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 So we've covered position. Next. Okay, this is important. Now you want to avoid glare, reflection, that fuzzy, images and your dim images on your computer screen. This is important because you want your screen at its optimum when you're using it. Now you don't want to have a glare. That means there's an on light or something like that that's shining a glare on your computer and causing all your screen to look fuzzy, and the images on your computer are very fuzzy. That's not good, because once you see this, what happens is your eye is actually working a lot harder to keep those dim images into focus. That's a lot of work actually over a long period of time. I mean, I'm not talking about, you just picking up and seeing a fuzzy image. No, we're talking about hours of sitting in front of a computer with funny, your window is reflecting onto your screen. You have a glare of an overhead light on your screen. Even if your image on your screen is out of focus, it may be okay for a while, but after some time, after a period of time, what will happen is your eye will become extremely tired, because it has to do the extra work of refocusing what is defocused on your computer. Okay, so this is important, because once you have a good environment, let's say for your computer screen and everything, your eye has to do a lot less work in the long run. So that's the reason why these little things that change the way we work, makes it a lot less heavy job on your eye actually at the end of the day.
But sometimes, there are offices that you can't really do much as an employee at the office, and then you're in your cubicle, and then suddenly you've got this backlight or you've got strong light from behind. So how do you adjust your laptop so that, I mean, if you're on your phone, then it's fine, like you can just adjust it.
Adjust yourself, yes.
Yeah. But if it is a laptop, you could possibly just, what's an ideal source of light position?
Agree. Let me get into that. I'll show you next.
All right.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So this is inappropriate glasses. Now, this is very important. Now, when you're going to start off your work on your computer, the first thing you need to do is, are you prepared? Now, the most important thing is, are you prepared? Is this pair of glasses appropriate for you or not? That is the most important you need to know. Is my power at its optimum for me to keep using my computer for long hours? That is a really important thing. So I suggest the first thing you do before you decide you want to use your computer is my eye and my glasses in its optimum position or not? So, my suggestion, of course, is get your eye checked. Especially if you have children at home who are already on glasses, who are planning to start school soon. Usually the age at which where children start to have some, I would say, power in their eye, or a refractive error, as we call it. That means, is the child is the child short-sighted, or is the child long-sighted, or is the child having astigmatism? This all starts during the age, around school age. Of course, we are seeing it much younger now because of the advent use of gadgets since very young age. So my suggestion is, by the time the child is going into kindergarten, it's no harm. Go get your eye checked. Go get your eye checked, because your child is going to be in front of the laptop or computer for such long hours. I mean, that's like 8 hours a day, not to mention, what else he wants to do after that. So a minimum of 8 hours a day from morning till evening, he or she is going to be in front of the computer. So you want to give them the best corrective vision. That means the best corrected visual acuity, the BCVA, must be done prior to them starting to use these things. So if you know they're going to start school soon, or they've been in school for a while, I would say every 6 months, get their eye checked. Get their glasses if they require it, to be at its optimum. Even us as adults. Sadly, with age, we have something called presbyopia, which is nearsightedness. We have started having problems with our reading. Even that. So that is really important. So whichever age group you are, most important thing is to get your glasses to its optimum power so that your eye does the least amount of work and your glasses can help you out. Okay,
How do you know if our glasses are at the optimum power for us?
you have to go to your shop to get it checked.
Okay.
Either the optometrist or you can get your eye checked in the from an ophthalmologist. The problem is, yes, a lot of times when, especially when we're talking about nearsightedness, that means we have a problem with distant vision.
Right.
We have an ability, or our eye have a wonderful ability, actually, I must say, that it can actually adjust for your vision, but you never realize how much it is adjusting for your vision. Okay, so the more work it does for adjustment or refocusing for you, it's actually a lot of work on your eye. So yes, it may feel comfortable right now, but irrespective, I think an adult, anybody above the age of 20 should do it at least once a year. Any child in school age should do it once in 6 months. That's the rule of thumb.
Okay.
Okay.
An eye check, yeah? All right.
Yes, eye check. Okay, so minor defects, visual defects, this is what I was talking about. Astigmatism, especially when it comes to your computer and your screen use, astig is one of those things that can get really exaggerated when you're using too much. What is astigmatism actually? Astigmatism is actually when the surface of your either your cornea, or, I mean, it can be any surface of the eye.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens, the surface is not regular. Okay, you take a nice perfect ball, it's nice and surface, the surface is nice
Yeah.
and perfect. But of course, in nature, it never ever happens that it's nice and perfect. So what happens is when you get an irregular surface of the eye, the light that enters into the eye. Imagine a camera. Don't even imagine your eye. Imagine a camera. You want to take a nice photograph. What you want to do is you want to have your lens clean. It's got to be nice, a perfect lens. Everybody's talking about 10 lenses now on a camera, on a phone, right? I don't know how many are there? 3, 4, 5 now. I don't know. On an iPhone, there's so many. Okay, but all those tells you that you need those lenses to be perfect for you to get a nice picture. Same with your eye here. You want a nice, perfect surface for you to get a perfectly clear image that is going to be taken by your film, which is your nerve that is behind the eye. Now, what happens is, if it is not regular, you get the images that go into the eye goes in irregularly. So what happens is when the film or the nerve that takes the photo in the eye gets a defocused picture. That means it's not a focus like the one that you're seeing right now on your screen. That's
Yes.
exactly how it looks. It looks all defocused. Now, this gets exaggerated. If you already have astigmatism, this can get exaggerated when you're using too much of screen. Because why? Your eye is doing extra work trying to focus it. And your eye muscles become tired. After some time, it says, I give up. See whatever you want to see. I'm not going to help you anymore. Okay. At that point, then you will start wondering, oh, is my power wrong? Is my glasses wrong?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go and check again. But actually, it's just overuse. So what you need to do is you need to correct it first of all. Get a proper astig or whatever refractive error. When I say refractive error, I mean the power of your glasses. Get
Right.
it corrected, get it optimum, so that your eye does less work, which means the muscles in your less work. So it can last longer. You can use your eye a lot longer. Right? Next.
Doctor, this astigmatism, is it something that you're born with or it develops over
Yes, you
time?
are born with. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Most
Okay.
of us are born with it.
All right.
Okay. Of course, there are ways where you can get it along the way, but that is a different issue altogether. There's some problems that you can get in your eye that you can, develop an astigmatism. But a lot of
Right.
people are born with astigmatism. Right? Okay, so other known causes of computer vision syndrome, that's again constantly staring at your computer for so long, until you get convergence fatigue. What that means is your eye constantly has to do this. Can you imagine your eye doing this for hours and hours on end? By the time you come back up, your eye is stuck in that position. You can't go back out anymore. That is fatigue. It's like again, your muscles, you're picking,
Yeah.
weights up, and by the time you get home, you can't even stretch your arm anymore, that's exactly it. So you're overworking it until it cannot relax anymore. So you get a convergence fatigue. It cannot do it anymore. After some time, you try and go back.
Yeah.
It's so tired, it cannot converge anymore. It doesn't do the job anymore because it's exhausted. Okay, so this is very important because your fixed posture, you're working long hours like this, your eye muscles are strained, and of course, you have this uncorrected visual defect, meaning you're not wearing your proper power for your glasses for your eye. Okay,
Yeah.
and finally, in the end, you get light glares from all your lights, your windows, your overhead lights, and things like that. Okay, so these are the other small little causes that can, worsen your computer vision syndrome.
Doctor, we're going to be talking about the light directions in a while.
Yeah. Don't worry, I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
How we prevent it. Don't worry. I got you. Carry on.
Next slide. All right.
Right.
Same.
So now the symptoms. What do you feel when you get computer vision syndrome? Now, how will you know you have computer vision syndrome? One is you get double vision. So every time you look at the computer, you can't seem to fuse the images into one. So you get double vision. That's, it's a cry for help already. Your eye is saying, please help me out. I can't do this anymore. So you get double vision. Temporary nearsightedness is actually a problem, and I believe me, I've especially during this lockdown period, this pandemic, I've had many children who come to me, parents come to me and say their children have complained that all of a sudden everything in their computer has become blur, or they're having problems watching TV suddenly. Now, the reason for this is not because the power in their eye has increased, it's because the muscles in the eye have become so tired they cannot focus anymore, or they cannot relax anymore. Okay, so spend so many hours in front of the computer with their eye muscles in contracture. That means it's all contracted, trying to focus. And finally, they leave their computer and go and do something else. Let's say, go out and play or something. They complain suddenly that they cannot see far. The reason is because the eye muscles that has contracted cannot relax. And so it cannot relax, it cannot focus on distant objects anymore.
Yeah.
So this is temporary. Of course, once they've rested, they had a good night's sleep, they get up and it disappears. And I've had children brought in by parents because they're worried all of a sudden the child cannot see far, this, that. But when you check their vision, it's fine because they've had a good night's rest the next morning and it's all good again. Okay, so this is important, especially in your children that have been sitting in front of the computer for a long time. Because the other thing is dry eye. I'll tell you exactly how you know when you get dry eye, and not to mention, of course, photophobia. Photophobia means sensitivity to light. That means you all of a sudden, every time that you go out into a sunlight, you're suddenly very sensitive to it. You can't tahan that there's such bright light.
Wow.
These are the few symptoms. Yes. Next slide. Okay, continuing on the symptoms, you get headaches, of course, because your eye is straining. Your eye is in your head, of course. So referred pain to your head, you'll get a headache.
Yeah.
Not to mention, of course, your neck and your back sprain and all that because you've been sitting and hunched over your computer. All that is position, basically bad posture will give you. And then you're straining your eye. You get, a lot of people will come and complain and say, oh, the back of my eye feels like, my eyeball is just going to pop out, So that's eye strain. And of course, they complain of redness and watering of the eye and all that. That's all associated with your dry eye symptoms. Okay, so these are the simple symptoms that you will know that I may be having computer vision syndrome. All right. Now, if you do, what do we do next? How do you prevent computer vision syndrome? So before prevention, of course, is better than cure. So once how do you prevent yourself from ever going down the computer vision syndrome road? You don't want to. So this is what you do. First, like I said before, you need to optimize your vision. How do you optimize your vision? Either you get an examination by an ophthalmologist, or if you have a local optometrist that you're used to and you've seen for many years, go get your eye checked. Make sure your glasses are corrected to its optimum, because you know you're going to be on the computer for many, many hours, for many, many days, for many, many weeks, and now we're going into many, many months and years. So optimization of your eye is number one. Get your glasses checked, get your eye checked. Most important, because a lot of people, you go to an ophthalmologist and you suddenly pick up, you may have some problem. Either you're diabetic, maybe you got some retinal problems that is causing, because of your diabetes is not controlled. All these things, get your eye checked by an ophthalmologist so you can get it checked and see whether there is any problems or not. If you have clean bill of health, great, fantastic. The next stop is your optometrist. Get your eye checked, get your glasses checked, change your glasses if necessary. Once that is done, you're good to go. Now your next step is, what else can you do on your computer? Okay.
Should we also should it be see your ophthalmologist first and then go make your glasses at the optometrist?
Yes, definitely. The thing is,
we should not skip your ophthalmologist.
I agree. You should not. Like I say, anybody above the age of 50 should anyway be seeing an ophthalmologist once a year, because it's the age at which you pick up a lot of eye diseases that can be asymptomatic, or rather you don't feel anything, you don't have any symptoms of the disease, but when you go and see an ophthalmologist, they pick it up for you. Because a lot of eye problems actually don't manifest, they don't show that you have an eye problem until it's too late. So if you want to pick it up early, you have to have at least an annual checkup with any ophthalmologist. Pick anybody, doesn't matter. Even if you're not in the same city and you don't have the same ophthalmologist around, doesn't matter. Somebody knock down somebody's door and says, look, can you have my eye checked for me? It's very simple.
What if you're under 50 and you go straight to an optometrist?
Once in 5 years.
Once in 5 years, optometrist.
Once in 5 years, you must have an ophthalmologist have a look.
Okay.
That is, WHO has already said, if you're less than 50, once in 5 years. If you're more than 50, once a year, you must get your eye checked. This is, of course, if you don't have any underlying conditions. That means you're not diabetic, you're not hypertensive, all those things. Because these conditions will have some problems in your eye if you do have some underlying conditions. So that 5 year and 1 year thing changes when you have these underlying conditions. If you are healthy and you have no problems at all, yes, you can follow this rule of 5 and 1 year.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now this is a beautiful rule that they've come out. It's called a 20-20-20 rule. Now, this is a rule that has been developed so that you can prevent digital eye strain. Now, how do you do it? It's very simple. You take a 20-second break for every 20 minutes to look at something 20 meters away or 20 feet away. Okay, now the reason is being, when you look at a screen, what happens, like I said before, your muscles are at work. They are constantly at work trying to focus on your images on your computer. Now, when you look away from your computer for 20 seconds, but you must not look away from computer doesn't mean look away and look at your phone. No. Look away means look away from any gadget. Look away at something far away, 20 meters. You want it to be far, something far, because the moment it is far, the muscles in your eye relaxes.
Okay.
So you give your eye a chance for the muscle to just relax for just 20 seconds. And then you look back at your screen. Yes, do it. Everybody, look away. 20 seconds.
I realize I've looked for about 40 minutes already. Okay.
Exactly. You've been staring at the screen for 40 minutes. Agreed.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is, just make it a mental effort. 20 minutes, look away for 20 seconds at something that's 20 feet away.
Does it have to be something green?
Oh, it would be so much better if it was green.
If it's green. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to say it has to be green because, sometimes in an enclosed office and things like that. So it's difficult to say, look green, because then you have to get up, open a window, look for a green somewhere. Who knows? Can we all stay in an apartment? It might be just buildings around us. Just look for one tree. You have to go and find one somewhere. Just look at it. May not be easy, but just anything, doesn't matter, even if it's just into the distance. So that your muscle relaxes.
All right.
Okay? Right. So this is an important rule, 20-20-20 rule. Okay, next. Okay, so now we were talking about proper sitting positions. What do you do? I already told you, monitor position, sit upright, 90 degrees. Your viewing angle should be 30 degrees, just below your eye level. You want that to be ideal. And of course, like I said, one arm distance, which is about 50 centimeters away. So one arm distance away from your laptop. Okay, so this is your ideal position to sit in front of a computer, not this way and that way and this way and that. I mean, it happens. You're not alone. I do it too. But this is the ideal position if you're planning to work on your computer for long hours. Okay, next. Okay, now this is what we were asking. You were asking about reducing glare. So how do you reduce glare? Now, the most important is when you position your screen, whether it's your computer screen or your laptop screen, you want it to put away from overhead light. You don't want the overhead light to cast a shadow on your screen. You don't want that. So overhead light should be away from the screen. Position your screen away from a window. The window should always be at your side. It shouldn't be in front of you, because what happens in front of you is you get a glare that goes straight into your eye. You have to do so much more work on your computer to focus if you have an overhead, something glaring, a light glaring right in front of you. So make sure your window is away to your side. And in fact, if possible, you don't want the side window to be glaring too. So you put a blind or a curtain or something like that to cover. Okay. So basically, you want to make sure that your light source is, I wouldn't say light source, but the focus is your screen. And you don't get a distraction of light from around you. So that's basically it, because you want to reduce glare. So number one, overhead light, make sure it's away from the screen. Position, you have a window, position it to your side, and make sure you have a blind or a curtain over it so that it doesn't cause too much of light that's glaring onto your screen. Do
Doctor,
this.
sometimes in the evenings when you're doing work, you might have a lamp, and then you might have that lamp focusing directly onto your work area.
Right.
And
away from your screen.
Yeah, and that's the only light source if you are in a dark room. So is that okay, or should you just at least have a room that's lit and a stronger light to focus on your screen?
If you see, the thing is, it's always said that if your computer or your gadget is your light source, that's never a good thing. Okay, you must have some ambient light. That is a good way to work. Of course, if you have a lamp, that's great, but the lamp should never be directly onto your screen. It should be away. That means, let's say you got work to do, you have it over your work, over your writing or whatever not. In fact, it's said that, let's just say you're working on your computer and you got a report or something like that you're going to copy onto your computer. They always say the whatever document should be at the level of your screen. That means at the same level. That means I think they've got clips and stuff like that where you can attach it to your screen at the side here. So that basically what happens is your working distance between your document and your screen never changes. It means your your eye does less work. It's always in the same working distance. That's what you want. Yes, you want everything at the same working distance.
I see. Okay, that's you. So that means try as much as possible not doing something.
Agreed. Instead of doing this, so what are we doing is we are changing from what we call near vision, intermediate vision, near vision, intermediate. So can you imagine how much of focusing your eye is doing? Sure, it's just here at the side of your screen, so you can copy directly. All right, so eye works less. Okay. Next.
Because some people, they like to print out.
Agreed.
They don't like to look at the screen for too long, so they print out and then they
read it from. Agreed, and that's actually not good. So you must adjust your whatever printed material. Make sure that it's at the same working distance as your screen, so that you work easier that way. All right. Now, Even smaller and something that we never think about is your air conditioning or your fan. Make sure that it's never in front of your eye. Okay, so the aircon or the fan should not blow directly into your eye. Why? The reason is simple, because the more aircon and more blowing that happens into your eye, you dry your eye even more. And
Right.
that makes it even worse and makes it harder to work. And of course, take your 5-minute break every half an hour. I seem to be taking a lot of breaks. I don't know how much of work you can do out in a single
Okay,
day
for
with
health
this much
reasons,
break.
that's fine.
Exactly. It's for
Yes,
your
yes.
own health, right? So
Yeah.
5 minutes, every 30 minutes, just a little break, okay? Just so that
Okay.
you prevent yourself from going into fatigue. All right? Next.
Doctor, these effects of CVS, is it the
Mm.
same for adults and children?
Yes,
Like
it
dry
is.
eyes, is the same?
Yes, it is. It is. And believe me, dry eyes, I mean, the effects of CVS goes across the board. There's no age limit, no, oh,
See.
my child is a kid, I still have children, they're stronger, no such thing. It
Right,
affects
right.
them as much as it affects us. Okay, so we have to, that's why I say it's very important we take care, because they are also going through the same, it's not like how they go to school and, it's in class and they get a few
Right.
hours out feel,
Yeah.
that variety of activity is not there anymore at this point of time. So we really need to watch that, and when it comes to our children. All
Okay.
right.
So just not take note of the ages lah. We all
Exactly. No age. There is no age limit.
right. Okay.
Yes, doesn't know age limit. Everybody can get it. All right.
All right.
Now, dry eyes. What do you do, and how do you know if you get dry eyes? Now, this can still occur even if you're doing all this. You can still get dry eye. Why? Because let's go back to our first slide. Because we forget that we need to blink. Okay,
Mm.
all the resting and this and that and all that, but we still forget to blink. So the basis of everything is still the blinking. All
Yeah.
right, unless of course you tell yourself, okay, I got to blink myself 20 times. It doesn't work, of course, if you keep going 20 times and then for the rest of the minute you're not doing it lah. But it needs to be an intermittent 20-time blinking. But it never happens because we are all focused on what we are reading, focused on what we are typing, so we forget to blink. So irrespective of whether you're resting your eye or not, some people will still develop dry eye due to CVS. How do you know? You will have your dryness, you'll have itchiness, you'll have
Right.
that green sensation, burning sensation of the eye. Worse still, of course, again, that photophobia, when you go into a light suddenly, you're very sensitive to it. Worse still, of course, you get, your vision is becoming blurred
Right.
and hearing. A lot of people ask me, why is it that you say I have dry eye and yet I am hearing like crazy? I get so much of tears. Okay, it's a misnomer, right? I got dry eye, but why am I hearing? Right? It doesn't make sense. Now, I'll explain that. Next slide, please. Okay, so tear film, I'm always in awe whenever I talk about blinking and tear film, because it is such a thing that we never think about, but it has such a complex composition in which for you to be comfortable with your eye. If you do not have a tear film that covers your eye, trust me, the amount of problems that you will have, you can go blind,
Oh,
right?
that's serious.
Yes, you must have a normal tear film for your eye to function normally. Okay, it's something that we never think about, isn't it? Tear film, big deal, isn't it? It's just a layer of tear. Now, in a normal tear film, there are 3 layers. Important. I'm going to a little physics here. I just hope everybody will bear with me. Now, the first layer, which is outside, is an oil layer. The second layer is the water layer, and the third layer is a layer of like it claws on, it keeps on, attaches itself to the eye. So you get 3 layers, right? The oily layer, the water layer, and the claw layer, the layer that catches onto your eye and sticks to it. All right. Now, any problems with any of these will have an issue. You will have dry eye symptoms.
I see.
Okay, that's why it says deficiency in aqueous. Aqueous meaning water layer. Now you water. Of course, because water will give lubrication to the eye, right? So if you have a deficiency, that means you have a problem with your water layer, you'll get dry eye feeling because there's not enough water that's covering your eye. All
Yeah.
right. Now, more importantly is you also need the oily layer. Little physics here. What happens when you have put oil over water? It prevents evaporation. So even though it's wind blowing, that oil layer will prevent the water layer from getting evaporated. It is
Right.
important. You want that oily layer. So these two layers have to work in sync, and they have to well for you to have a good tear film. That means you don't have that dry eye symptom.
Okay.
Of course, if you have any one of this, of course, you can get an ophthalmologist to have a look and tell you exactly what problems you might have and how you can overcome them. Secondly, is the easier way is get yourself a pair of, a bottle of artificial tears. Go to any pharmacy. There are hundreds of brands out there. Try anyone. I have my favorite. Everybody else can try and find out what their favorite is. Get a bottle. Keep it next to you while you're using your computer and your screen time. Occasionally one drop, I tell you, it makes a lot of difference, because dry eye is something, yes, we talk about how you can avoid it, but the fact is you're still not blinking enough. And if you're not blinking enough, you are still prone to dry eye. Okay?
Okay.
Next. Okay, I'm nearly to the end of my talk. This is a summary of computer vision syndrome, all the things that you have to worry about, think about, and don't ever forget the 20-20-20 rule, which I think is perfect. All you need to do is look away from your screen for just after 20 minutes of work, 20 seconds away from your screen at something that's 20 feet away. Okay?
Okay. All right, that's great. Okay, doctor, remember you were mentioning just now about not having your digital screen the only source in the room. What if it's a television? You're watching movies, especially now people like to watch Netflix, not much to do. Okay, and then the room is dark, but only the TV screen is on. So you get that glare. Will that also damage your eyes? Is that also a cause of CVS?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you're talking about screen time in the dark, I know a lot of people ask me that question, is it bad? There's a reason why it's bad. The reason is we are assuming that you are in the dark because you're preparing for bed, you're preparing for sleep, correct? Okay. But the thing is, it is not about the screen that you're watching in dark. It is the fact that you are preparing for bed. Now, there is what do you call this? A hormone called the melatonin that you are supposed to produce for you to fall asleep. Now, if you have something that's light going into your eye, prevent the production of melatonin. Now, if you prevent the production of melatonin, sleep will not come. So you will not have rest. It's not actually an eye thing where I cannot look at something in the dark. Actually, the point is you're supposed to prepare for bed in the dark.
If you want to sleep, but if you don't want if it's not about sleep, if you actually you want to watch a movie but you like to watch it in the dark.
Dark? No, really, that's actually no. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
There's no actual rule that says, you cannot sit in the dark and watch something. There's a reason why we do it. We say because we assume that because you're in the dark, you're preparing for sleep. And if you're preparing for sleep, it's not a good thing to have all these images that, that is going to prevent melatonin production. That's the reason why, actually.
I see. So CVS is reversible?
Of course, it is reversible.
I see.
Most of the time, you reduce the amount of screen time. A lot of times, you go away. Yeah.
What about the size of your screen? Does that factor in as well when you're talking about CVS?
It's not really the size of the screen. It's more towards the font. Any screen nowadays, like those days, right, where you have to have only one size of the screen. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. Nowadays, you can change any screen, even our phone, you can change the font size and it be perfect. But the rule of thumb here is, one is you want the screen about 20 inches away from your screen, like I said just now, 20 inches away. What do you call this? And the brightness should be appropriate. Not only that, the font size. Let's say you're going to be long hours. I mean, if you're going to look at the phone and you just read a message and it's done, it's okay. But if
Yeah.
you're going doing work for a long hour, for
Yeah.
long hours, the rule of thumb is whatever font size you're comfortably reading, make sure you make it 2 to 3 times the size, bigger,
Okay.
so that
Okay.
your eyes
Oh,
are more relaxed reading the material. It
yeah.
doesn't
Especially
matter
now
what
there are e-books.
exactly ebooks. Now you can make it bigger, whatever size you want.
Yeah.
Actually, if you ask me, there are a lot of studies that have gone where you between reading a book and now our tablets and stuff like that. It's actually it works. The tablets work because one is the light is appropriate. You can adjust it. Font size is appropriate. You can adjust it the way you want. A book comes in a that size and that print
Yeah.
and
Correct.
yeah, you can't
Oh,
change
I
anything.
see. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
in a
So
lot
what?
of ways, we are better off this way, but it's
Oh,
just
I
that
see.
we're
Okay.
using it wrongly. We're using it wrongly. That's all.
Okay. So it's not about the screen time, even if you
No,
are
but
reading
like I
college.
said just now, we were talking about the screen size, the white,
Yes. Yeah.
the field effect that you use. So if you are having a big screen, you want to sit back. You don't want to be sitting this way and forcing your eye
Yeah.
to see the entire screen. So sit back, let your eye relax, and watch the entire screen. It's okay. It doesn't matter what the screen size is.
Yeah. But
Make sure the font size.
how can you tell which level of brightness is just right for you? The
Oh
level of
boy,
brightness, or that's up to how you feel about it, or
it's
whatever.
it's a personal thing, I think.
Okay.
Number one. But the rule of thumb here is, let's just say you're looking at something in the dark. And people love doing this, like reading your phone and things like that in the dark.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in the dark and your phone or your laptop or your computer is the only source of light, it's very bad. It's not good because you are forcing your eye between dark and light to work, which is, after some time, your eye becomes very strained. That's one. Secondly, is the other thing is, of course, if the screen is too dark, that means everything looks gray. That's too dark already. So you want to find a place somewhere in between. It's difficult for me to say, oh, this is it and that is it. It's difficult. But like rule of thumb is, if your screen is too bright and it's the source of light in your room, not good. If it's too dark and everything looks gray, again, not good. So keep it somewhere in between and it should be all right.
About the position of the user, a phone user, lying down apparently is. I know you mean, like, when you're looking at your laptop, obviously you'll be sitting down lah. But sometimes before you sleep or just after you wake up, this is the normal position. Like your phone will be
Yeah.
on your face.
Now, how do I stop
Is
the
that
body from
okay?
doing that? Again, there's no 100% that says, oh, it's going to spoil your eye. Again, one is you're looking at something because that is the only source of light. You're falling asleep, right? Again, you're falling asleep. Not good. Again, this is your only source of light. Secondly, is are we talking about you lying down, falling asleep before you do it? Which is not good. Again, you're talking about preventing your melatonin production.
No, no.
So,
Not to do with sleep lah.
not to
Yeah,
do with sleep,
it's just,
just lying down.
it's just you just
Bad,
like
bad for your
don't.
eyes. I mean, your eye is made in such a way where your brain can invert and an image and all that. That's not the problem. But it's bad for your back, your lumbar and your spine.
Yeah, I
It's
see.
very bad. So that's the only
Okay.
position.
Okay, all right. The last one from me. Proper posture for using mobile phones.
Ah, either you're standing or you're sitting. It has to be upright. Make sure you look at your screen always again in the lower, directly a little bit lower. You're looking down, and make
Okay.
sure if you're typing or something, make sure your elbow is rested on a table. All this is just so your skeletal body is at rest, most at
That's
rest.
more
In
that's
fact,
more
I've
posture.
read yeah, in fact, I've read somewhere where they even tell you stop texting. Use those what's that called? Dictation? What
Voice
dictation?
note.
Ah,
Voice note.
yes. The voice dictation is there,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Because this
Okay.
position and trying to type is actually very strenuous to your back.
Okay. All right. Okay, doctor. Thank you so much for all
Welcome.
those enlightenments. Okay. Before we go and take questions from our viewers, I just like to remind everyone again to stay on because there'll be a quiz and you can stand a chance to win a bag from Columbia Asia Hospital Puchong. But what you need to do is you have to be a sharer, which means you've got to share this talk, this FB Live link with your other friends on Facebook, and then you'll be eligible to enter the quiz. Okay. So hang on. First question from our viewers. Let's take one from Miss Chan Li Hong. Hi, doctor. Nowadays, optic shops are promoting Blu-ray glasses, which they claim are able to block out blue lights. Are those effective or useful?
Okay. I knew this question was going to come on. Okay, blue light is supposed to be harmful to your retina, which is the nerve of your eye. Agreed. Now, the reason why blue light is harmful is because it prevents you from, let's say you're trying to fall asleep. Again, it prevents your melatonin production. It prevents it, so you don't have a good night's sleep, especially when you're using it at night. It has been proven sometimes to cause, I mean, there's some benefits. 100%, nobody's actually ever proven it properly. But yes, they do say that it does cause some problems to your retina over a long, long period of time. So a lot of extra screen time with a lot of blue light that's you're exposed to can cause some problems to your retina.
Okay.
So it may be, it does prevent. A lot of people are coming up with new glasses that say that it blocks out. In fact, you get a matte screen filter that causes, that prevents your blue light. You don't even have to wear it in your glasses. It can be a screen you put onto your computer, your
Oh, I
whatever
see. Okay.
protection that you're using onto your screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does help. It does help. You're right.
Oh, okay. And Mishaila is Azmin is asking the same thing, but she's asking specifically for children. Blue light glasses for children. Is that different? Blue light?
Same thing, same rule here. How much of time are your children spending in front of the computer? Look, it's a simple rule here. Are you allowing your children to sit in front of the computer for so long so that they can be affected by blue light? I think the only way to avert it is to actually keep them away. But I know at this period of time it is difficult. So if your child is already wearing glasses, I guess it's no harm to incorporate a little blue light filter into your glasses. But again, like I say, sometimes it's easier to put it onto your whatever gadget that you already have on instead of on your glasses.
Right. Right.
Because those
Okay.
glasses keep changing, right?
Okay. Here's another one from Ms. Gwen Yap. Will glasses with computer lens and blue light lenses help to prevent slightly from the syndrome? She
No,
says that she's suffering from
presbyopia.
presbyopia at 38 years old since pandemic started. Too much screen time and staying at home.
Yes. Uh, will the glasses with computer lens plus blue light? It's not going to prevent you from the syndrome. Definitely not, because blue light has actually got nothing to do with computer vision syndrome. It is actually how much you're using it. So the two big problems that you will have while using a screen is because you're reducing your blinking, your posture, like that. It has really got nothing to do with blue light. Blue light actually is a lot to do with melatonin. So you're preventing the production of that, and that causes some retinal damage. That is what you don't want. But as far as computer vision syndrome, whether or not you're using a blue light filter or not is the same. You will still get it.
Okay. All right. So it looks like that's all that we have from the audience. I suppose because your explanation just now is very clear already. Okay, so let's go on to questions. Don't worry, we've got like very straightforward, easy questions, and we will choose 3 winners from this quiz. Okay, yes, quiz time. Let's take a look at the 3 questions. I'll read it out to you. Number 1, don't forget, people, you have to share first before you are entitled to answer the question. And okay, I'm sure you'll be reading it by now, but that's fine. Number 1? What is the name of the technique that gives your eyes a rest when you have been staring too long at a computer screen? Number 2, What reflex decreases when you stare at a digital screen for too long? And finally, number 3, if you have photophobia, what are you sensitive to? Okay, give your answers in one comment, okay? Don't forget, just type in your answers in the comment section, but in one comment. So like number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, we'll give you maybe about 50 seconds from now. Yes, there you go, Colombia, Asia, Malaysia. Please answer all 3 questions in a single comment. All 3, okay, together. So don't forget, don't give separate answers. All 3 answers together. Maybe later, doctor, you can just go through and
Sure.
reveal the answers.
Me? Reveal the answers?
Not yet, not yet. In a while. Okay, cool. We will choose 3 winners. We have 3 bags. 3 bags in the bag. So most of your cases now, doctor, they're actually about, do you see an increase in
Oh,
cases when it comes to
computer vision
CVS?
syndrome?
Very
Very,
obvious.
very obvious increase.
More among adults or children?
Surprisingly, I see a lot of children these days.
Mm.
I think they've been on lockdown for so long, school has been closed, right?
Yeah,
I
lah,
see,
yeah.
especially when they come in and they tell you, oh, they had no problems, vision, then suddenly now, every time they sit in front of the screen, they say they cannot focus,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, they think it's other problems, mental problems, but actually it's not, it's just a simple visual problem.
Mental problems, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because the child is sitting down on the computer, out of the blue, says, I cannot focus on anything. I mean,
I see,
what
I
else
see.
do you think, right? Your mind will go all over the place.
Yeah. This is the era that we're living in.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost everything now is online because even meetings, we've got prayers, family prayers,
Right,
family
exactly.
gatherings,
Everything.
everything, birthday parties.
I know.
Yeah. It's very
I
hard not to have screen time. In one day, it's quite impossible
agree.
actually now.
Agree. I think my kids even sit down and watch movies with their friends over.
Watch
I don't.
parties.
Yeah, watch
Watch
parties.
parties
Yeah,
now.
that's it. Watch parties.
So kesian.
I
No, kesian
know.
because like we don't have a choice. We are social
Exactly.
animals, social beings. We
Exactly.
still have to connect.
We
Okay,
somehow
again,
rather
yeah.
have fun.
Sorry, say again.
No, no, no. It's okay. Carry on.
No, I just wanted to.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah. I understand.
okay. Oh, okay. Apparently, some of the comments, the answers are coming in. They're good, but they have not. These are not from the ones who have shared. So, in order for you to be eligible for the prizes, you have to share first. You have to share the link of this talk to on your wall, on your FB wall, or with your other groups as well. Once you have shared, and then only we will take into account your answers in order to win the prize. Okay, don't forget about that. Share, and then answer. Okay, all right. So let me just check, yeah, if it is time. It is definitely over 1 minute. I think we can choose the ones who are winners. Can we already, Cecilia? Cecilia is our producer. Okay, we do have 3 winners already. Congratulations, you all win yourselves each one nice red bag from Columbia Asia Hospital Puchong. Number 1 goes to Muhammad Firdaus. Number 2 goes to Miss Jennifer Ching. And number 3, VG Nair. Okay, doctor, you want to disclose the answers?
Yeah, sure. Why me anyway? You disclose.
Because you're the ophthalmologist.
Okay, what is the name of the technique that gives your eye a rest when you are staring too long at a computer screen? The answer is, of course, the 20-20-20 rule,
Yes,
which
that's right.
is, all right. Second question is, what reflex decreases when you stare at a digital screen for too long? Which is, of course, your blinking. And thirdly is, if you have photophobia, what are you sensitive to? And that's light, of course. Photophobia means sensitivity to light.
Congratulations, everyone who have won Muhammad Firdaus, Jennifer Ching, and Vijay. Your bags will be waiting for you. So what you need to do now is we will PM you, and then or you can also PM us to redeem your prize, and we'll give you the details once we are in contact with you. Okay. So on that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Dr. Sunita, who has very kindly made time for us today to talk about computer vision syndrome. Okay, and hopefully with all the
Thank you for
advice and
having
tips
me.
today, oh, our pleasure. With all the advice and tips, we all will have a more controllable way of
Yeah,
living
I hope
online.
so. I hope
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much,
Just little
Doctor.
changes.
Sorry?
Yeah. Little changes make a lot of
Yes, yes,
difference.
exactly. It makes a lot of difference. Okay, that was Dr. Sunita Padmanabhan from Columbia Asia Hospital, Puchong. She's the consultant ophthalmologist there. If you would like to get your eyes checked, you can always go and make an appointment with her. And
Please
yes,
welcome.
that is all
Welcome.
the time that we have for today. Thank you so much, everyone. See you again next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.